welcome everybody. I just kind of wanted to get out there and give my first opinions about Mass Effect Andromeda. I want to get it out of the way and say that Mass Effect Andromeda is not as bad as people are making it out to be. I think what happened is Mass Effect fans had so much hype going on with this game from past entries, so much writing on it, and everybody expected it to make up for the lack of the ending that Mass Effect 3 had, and it just kind of crushed under its own hype. But it's not a bad game. As a matter of fact, it's a very solid experience. And it kind of follows in that same direction that the original Mass Effect did. Story-wise, it throws you into the story, the scenario, and kind of explains shows a little bit about what's going on. It's like in the first Mass Effect, you land on Eden Prime, you find out that the Geth are kind of the main enemy you're going to be fighting, and then it takes you to the beacon, and you get that vision that's just really left unexplained. Then you get tossed on the Citadel to go in through this whole investigation to try and make it so you can convince the Council that Saren has gone rogue. And then once you meet up with Liara, things start to kind of make sense. Mass Effect Andromeda is that very same way by throwing you in on Habitat 7, where you're introduced to the Ket. Now the Ket function, much like the Geth, as the main villains of the series. I really can't say too much more than that, other than what you're trying to do essentially is go around and collect these remnants. So you're able to make these planets in Andromeda habitable. And there's supposedly this thing called the Scourge just kind of appeared a few years back and kind of like decimated the whole galaxy. And even some of the races that were there kind of go into detail and say, this is what happened, the Ket arrived, they trashed our planet, we need to go and get it back. So there's really not much more than that in the story that I don't know. So the story is something I'm definitely going to have to go back out and talk a bit more about in my final review. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about the characters. I wanted to say this, the characters are much, much weaker this time around than they were in the original trilogy. And I want to say part of that is due to it being the first game. We spent 3 games with Garrus, Tali, Liara, and we really got a chance to get to know them. And I feel like some of these characters definitely have the potential to grow on you as the game progresses, or as the new series progresses. So I really think we need to give them a try. Cora's definitely a really cool character. I really like Peebee. She's probably my favorite so far. Jal seems okay. I just kind of recruited him tonight, so I don't really know too much about him. I'll probably talk about him a little bit more in my official review as well. But I really like the Krogan Drac. Drac is really cool as well. I think that him and Peebee are probably my 2 favorites right now, and along with Cora. And I really do like the female rider. That's who I did choose to play, and they do a really good job at voice acting her, I think. I can't really say anything about the male rider, because obviously I'm not playing as a male rider, but they do well to kind of express what you're telling your character to say. Much like Commander Shepard did in Mass Effect, they do it really, really good. The writing could definitely use some work. You can definitely tell that they don't have the visionary writing style of Drew Karpyshyn behind this one, and I really think that's why Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 really succeeded, is because he was involved in a lot of the writing, in a lot of the scripts this time, and it kind of shows. He's a very good writer, and I respect a lot of his work. Some of the dialogue is kind of cheesy. It does have its ups and downs in those aspects, and sometimes the jokes can be really funny. Sometimes you're just like, nice try, but you're not making me laugh. But it's not outright horrible. I mean, we're not talking George Lucas style dialogue here. There's definitely those moments, sure, but they're not huge. The character animations that everybody is complaining about too, they happen. There's sometimes you see like the nose twitch or like a big cheesy ass grin come from your characters. It's not game breaking like a lot of people out there would try to convince you that it is. It's just there, it happens sometimes, and that's kind of it. I also think they went in and actually applied an update to fix some of the walking animations, as the walking animations are looking a lot more crisp than they were in the initial early access trial. They're not walking so funny, they actually, it almost in a way actually kind of feels more natural than what it did in the early access. I need to definitely get in and explore its characters more and be able to explore its story. But the last couple things I do want to touch upon is its freaking scenery. I love it. It's beautiful. Like Habitat 7, when you first go in there, like that's the first thing I realized about this game. Like, holy shit, this planet is beautiful. It was really, really cool. And I really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed some of the textures and rock formations on Eos. I thought that was really cool. And there's this other planet, I can't remember the name of it. It's the planet that Jaw's from. And oh my gosh, is it beautiful looking. It really is. They did a really good job on creating the visuals in this game. And I'm looking forward to getting in there and even seeing more of these worlds come to life, because they're so damn beautiful to look at. There's so much detail that went into creating the worlds alone. It is mind-blowing. There are some frame rate issues here and there. I haven't encountered any huge ones. There was one where it kind of took a little bit to load, but Mass Effect has always been known for having some frame rate issues, so that's nothing new to the series. And even some of the facial animations in the original Mass Effect were not as good as people made them out to be. Mass Effect did have some of its facial animation kind of had a problem with some of the characters expressing the correct emotions on their face, and it really relied heavily on its voice acting. And its voice acting this time around, again, it's not bad. There's some questionable roles and choices that they've put in there that I kind of wish they would have put a thought process into. Ryder does a really good job. I really like Cora's voice actor. Liam's isn't too bad. Liam's just not that great of a character. I like PB's voice actor, said Drac. I really like him. I kind of feel like they maybe could have pushed a little bit more effort into some things, and it's not a bad game though, and people just need to realize that, you know, maybe this could be the start of something great. Maybe we need a little bit more time to understand what these characters are for. I'll talk more about a story in the final review, but you know, you got to realize too that this is setting up a new story in a different galaxy. We haven't had this established lore and history of Earth's inhabitants and all these alien races that they contact with, and kind of like these buildings that have been set up. It's almost like, in a way, in what Interstellar is. You're given the rights to go out, try and explore, to find these different worlds and inhabit them. So it's not really going to be something huge and amazing either. But I'll elaborate on a story in my final review. These are just some of my first initial thoughts. One thing they brought back that I really enjoy this time around is they brought back the scanning elements from Mass Effect 2. I really enjoyed being able to go to a planet and scan it and try to get minerals from it and send probes and things like that. I thought that was a really cool idea to do. And Mass Effect Andromeda brings that back, so that was nice to get to see that. These are my thoughts, my opinions on Mass Effect Andromeda, my first thoughts. Once I beat the game, you guys will get my full review. Be sure to leave your comments down below. Hit subscribe there for any new content is going to be coming your way. You can go down in the description and follow me on Facebook and Twitter to keep up to date with my videos. And you guys are watching the Spoony Bard, and most importantly, stay happy, be happy, and game happy. The Spoony Bard is checking out.